It's February 9th, 2020. The sun has finally come out and it's feeling really nice. Let's start the update over here with the lavender. You can see it's still looking pretty much the same. Right here, you can still see those little black spots. I think those are probably aphids. And the rosemary is still flowering, as you can see. Wonder how long they're gonna flower for. Here's the hydrangea. You can see the leaves are coming out very nicely. And here's just some other plants that looks pretty much the same as last week. And you can see the California poppy has started growing. Saffron looks pretty much the same. Over here we have the summer snowflakes. You can see the sprouts are getting taller. Very slowly though. And then the other plants looks pretty much the same. Down here we have the this one is one of the bulb plants. You can see this tiny sprouts. It's getting taller now. Over here is another bulb plant. Some sprouts coming out, not a lot. This is the Persian pearl tulip. And as you can see, I moved the tulip down here to get more sunlight. And this is the grape hyacinth. If you look closely, this sprout over here, you can see some flowers forming inside. Here's the mulberry. You can see the sprouts are getting greener. Same as the blueberry. The sprouts are getting greener, and I think the stems are also getting greener. This is the grape hyacinth. You can see a lot of new leaves. Strawberries over here looks pretty much the same. Over here we have the hydrangea. You can see the sprouts have started to open. And right here is a sprout with some flowers. Down here is another hydrangea. You can see pretty much all of the sprouts have opened. Down here is some new growth. You can see this guy over here, it's coming out nicely. And behind the branches, there's another one over here and another one over here. Catnips are doing really well, as you can see. I could probably cut away the old growths. Raspberry looks pretty much the same. The sprout isn't changing much. Succulent over here. Down here is the bulb plant. This is the hyacinth. You can see more flowers are gonna open pretty soon. And this guy over here is the one that has already opened. It smells really nice. And then over here is the crocus. You can see a lot of flowers are gonna open pretty soon. Interestingly, I'm not seeing any white flowers. But yeah, all of these are purple flowers. Looks very nice. Over here is the crocus that was stored dry. You can see a lot of flowers forming. And here's a few flowers that's gonna open pretty soon. Snowdrops, not looking too good. The daffodil pot is not looking too good either. But then this pot over here is doing really well. You can see right here is a flower forming. So we're gonna get some daffodil flowers pretty soon. Lastly, this is the artichoke. You can see it's still sending out new leaves. For the indoor garden, here we have the elephant food plant. You can see it's still dropping leaves. Over here is a succulent. You can see the new growths are getting bigger now, and this baby plant is getting heavier. Here's a snake plant. Right here you can see a new growth. Here are the orchids. The Venus slipper orchids are looking pretty good. As you can see, I moved them to the first level. The dendrobium, you can see this new growth. It's gonna open pretty soon. And over here is the flower. And then here's another dendrobium. Here's a new growth, like the other one. And the flowers are still around. I'll show you another 3 flowers. Here's the string of pearls. You can see some new growth. And the mini oncidium is sending out some new growth as well, like right there. And then also here, you can see some new growth, like right here. So yeah, they're all doing really well. I moved these small pear plants over here, and you can see I kind of repotted it. This is what it looked like. Even though the leaves are dead, I think the root systems are still alive, so I'm gonna keep it. A few more orchids, they look pretty much the same. Here's another orchid, and the frizzle sizzle. As you can see, there's a new leaf forming. The frizzle sizzle used to have 2 plants coming out. Apparently, labeled 1 is dead, and then label 2 is still growing. So we'll see how that's gonna play out. Hopefully, there's gonna be more growth this year. Down here is the staghorn fern. You can see very nice shield fronds forming. Succulent pot is doing well. You can see right here's the kind of furry succulents are growing. This guy isn't really growing yet, and this one isn't growing yet either. But then this one is very etiolated, as you can see. The birdnest fern, as you can see, it's doing a lot better after I watered the plants. Even though this part of the leaf is still pretty dry. But yeah, the soil was pretty dry, so after the watering it's doing a lot better. And at the center, I think some new growth is gonna come out soon. I also moved the dragon tree plants over here for more sunlight. Here's a few more succulents. Petal succulent plant is looking pretty good. Here's the spider plants. As you can see, I cleaned up the dead leaves, so it's looking a lot better. And the pear plants, I also clean up the old growths. Hoya plants looks pretty much the same. And the staghorn fern, you can see the shield frond is still getting bigger very slowly. And this side is some new antler fronds forming. And the dendrobium is looking great as usual.